Defense, we played 9 strong as a team. Defensive line getting better and better. Mike Hill, champion. Jalen Holmes, Draymond Jones, Tyquan Lewis. We have 4 champions up front. Linebackers, you had Jerome Baker, Raekwon, and Worley. All three backers graded champion. In the back end of the defense, you had Garyon, Marchand, Denzel Ward, and Webb. And players of the game were Coe, Malik Hooker, and Sam Hubbard. Played very, very high level against a decent, good offense. On offense, 9 strong. Quarterback played the champion, J.T. Barrett. Mike Weber graded a champion. We had 4 receivers grade out of champions. We had Terry McLaurin, Harris Campbell, Noah Brown, and K.J. Hill. Tight ends, we had 2. Marcus Baugh and A.J. Alexander had his first champion, played 40 plays. Offensive line, you had all 5. Jamarco Jones, Pat Elflein, Billy Price, Isaiah Michael, Jordan. And player of the game was Curtis Samuel, had 13 touches and 180 yards, 178 yards. So guys played well. Kicking game, special teams player of the week was Jordan Fuller, who was really coming on as a young freshman, playing well for us. So that one's in the books. Enjoy the victory, wait for your next mission, next assignment, and get ready to go on the road. That's what we're doing.
Front row, Dave.
Coach, you addressed this after the game a little bit. Is it pretty much open tryouts at punt returner now? And is it going to be the same 3 guys we saw in the game?
Mario, Curtis Samuel will probably get the first, and KJ and Demario will catch punts all week. They have been.
So is Dontre's out of the mix then there for now? Just maybe for this game. And real quick on Mike Weber, you mentioned after the game, shoulder, is it a sprained AC joint? Okay.
He should be fine for the game. There's no contact this week during practice.
Second row, right, Ben.
Urban, you mentioned it briefly on Saturday, but the adjustments you guys made to scripting the plays, what's different about what you guys are doing? Is it involving JT more?
It's involving the whole staff. I want to have them grade the plays that throughout the week that they love, not like and why and how it fits. And I've always done that, not to the extent I'm doing now.
And then I wanted to ask about Malik Hooker, what he does when he gets the ball in his hands. Do you look for that, or is it a bonus?
Well, I think anytime I watch him, I'm going to flip him over on offense and pitch it to him a couple of times. But one thing that I think it's, be a good story or someone to go watch it is the intensity that the players go get hats on hats with someone. It's remarkable. Sam Hubbard on the second Damon Webb's, and then just guys flying. They're taught to hit the sideline, and everybody. It's a well-coached defense that they work on that. The player knows what to do with the ball. It's not by accident, and it's the effort. The guy running obviously is so skilled, but Damon Webb just ran. And the guys were like their hair was on fire blocking the ball.
Front row, right, Austin.
Urban, you talked over the last couple of weeks about wanting the wide receivers to get some separation and pull ahead. How is it that after those rough couple of weeks, they seem to just shoot up the way they did last weekend?
How is it?
Yeah. What did you do to unlock that?
Told them to separate.
It's easy as that.
I just young players, not much experience, and they're coming with their own a little bit. I thought they played fantastic. I thought they blocked well on the screen passes, and that was their best game by far. So how and why, we had the answer. We wrap this up here in a couple minutes, so just go do it.
Is a catch like KJ Hill made at the end of the Northwestern game, can that be a spark into a whole week and moving forward?
I think so. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that was a game changer, and he's a really good player. He's earning more and more playing time. Very reliable guy, good blocker, always in the right place, very good hands. He's one of those guys you'll see, like Noah, reaches out and the ball catcher and hand catcher. So to answer your question, I've seen that happen before. It sparks, energizes a group, and it certainly has. And I think we've thrown for 550 yards in the last 2 games or something, or 530 or whatever it was. So there's been a little bit of a spark.
Third row, right, Tony.
Urban, is Dante Booker a redshirt candidate at this point?
He has one. We haven't had that lengthy discussion. I haven't gotten involved with Luke. I know he's on call, and So I don't know much more than that.
At what point do you know, if he can go for 1 or 2 games versus?
Beat Maryland.
Third row right, Rob.
Urban, there's a lot of pieces to productive offense. Play calling is one of them. You guys look just much more dynamic overall. Barbershop talk is that you are more involved in the play calling now. Head coach / almost offensive coordinator. How accurate is that? And how hard is it to juggle in general play calling as a head coach with the other duties?
I've always been very involved. I like to have someone in the press box, goes back and forth. I think the guys upstairs did a great job. That's no different than when Tom was here or when Dan Mullen or you're involved and always will be.
So no more, you're not more involved in the actual play calling?
Fourth row right, Nick.
2 weeks after Penn State, you had all 5 kids in the offensive line rated champion. Have you seen them grow up a bit in the past couple weeks?
They played really well the last 2 weeks. Were they against Northwestern, did you say?
I said against Nebraska, all 5.
I can't remember. They started much improved against Northwestern as well, very good defensive front. So, yeah, they had a very good week of practice, too.
Is there anything you've done schematically to help them out, or has it just been them improving?
No, but just you get what you emphasize, and a lot of emphasis on pass pro. Their pass pro Saturday was outstanding. And so just a lot of emphasis on that right now.
Far right, Clay.
DJ Durkin, he was your GA at BG?
And my special teams coordinator in Florida.
Is that almost like a father-son thing, the way you brought him along?
I don't know if he'd like that, but I'm very close with him and I love him to death. I love his family. He's from Youngstown. He's a great guy, great football coach.
So when it comes to the last game, will he be your source, your mole against the other guy he worked for?
I don't think we go there. Beat Maryland.
Second row left, Ari.
Urban, I was just wondering, a few players after the game said that in the time since the Penn State game that there has been kind of like a team mantra for themselves. Have you done everything that you can personally to win the game?
Players said that?
Players said, multiple players, and I think that they said they got it from the coaching staff.
What's that?
They said they got it from the coaching staff. I don't know if they came up with it on their own. I was just wondering, did you have a discussion after the Penn State game with them to kind of remind them of every little thing that can be done to make this, because that's what they said credited the big turnaround in the big game, that they had that mantra.
Yeah, of course we do team meetings and power the unit and have those conversations. And if you've done everything you possibly can do to help your team win, enhance it, carry on, move forward. If not, why? Get it fixed. And that's been the kind of the topic. That was a Sunday topic after that game.
Did you feel beforehand that maybe they weren't?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not all.
Yeah.
There's some that absolutely. When your team struggles, what happens is it's no different than any team across the country. When a team struggles, it's because there's a unit, a player, a coach not upholding his responsibility.
And you've mentioned in the past, different topic, that sometimes it's a risk to have huge recruiting weekends against good teams at night because Sundays aren't fun when you lose. Was this the best it possibly could have been? Was
Best
this
it
the best?
possibly could be, yeah.
Like, what was it like?
Taking pictures, eating food, smiling, was great.
Best though that you ever had, maybe? That was one of the deepest visitors lists that you've had here at Ohio State when it came to the three
Beat
classes.
Maryland.
Okay. Far left, Matt.
I'm wondering when the situation with Tommy Armstrong happened, there's that long delay, the energy in the stadium gets sapped out. Where does your mind go? Is there any conversation with the team that I imagine it's in their minds to put it behind you? How do you move on when a situation like that happens?
No, you don't move on until you find out that he's A-OK. And that was right by us, and I kept asking Coach Brody, how's this guy doing? Is he all right? Is he all right? And I saw everything moving, and he's fine. But it does take the wind out of you. It takes the wind out of everybody. And I would just go around the players and say, hey, let's make sure we're just keeping moving. That's my biggest concern is guys, also tighten up and they're standing there a half hour. And but that's all that. The most important thing, obviously, for everybody here is that guys are all right.
Also, coming off a win like that, when everything seems to go well. Now you have this game against a team that may not be as marquee, so to speak, on the road. What's the message going forward for game one?
Oh, well, I'll share a little bit of it with you. This group of players made a decision to play very well. And now that you can throw that one away if you don't follow up with another good week of practice and preparation. That's been the message to a degree.
Front row middle, Bill.
Ari may have just you may have answered this kind of, but I mean, last week you were very upbeat, but you said Saturday you were acting, kind of. How serious were you about your concern heading into that game? Were you really thinking this was a breaking point or a turning point? Turning point.
No, I've done this a long time, and I've coached young teams, and this is a steady climb that we were climbing very good early in the season. We plateaued, and you got to somehow jumpstart it and get the climb started again. And development of players and development of the team. And I felt like obviously we plateaued. So, but I see what I see at practice. That's the advantage I have over everybody here. Is I see if I thought there was team chemistry issues and give in, then then you implode. It wasn't that at all. It's just coaches got to do a better job. Players said they got to do a better job, and they did.
Was there a moment last week that reassured you? And there's going to be so much attention. I know it's 1 week at a time, but everyone's already fast forwarding until November 26th. How do you make sure that nobody inside this place does?
There's no chance. Keep them from talking to you.
Front row left, Doug.
Oh, man.
Gene, is that all right?
Specifically?
What you just said about belief and his ability when he gets the ball in his hand, how does any coach ever maybe make a decision of you have a great skilled defensive guy, let's sprinkle him in on offense here or there? Like, I'm sure there's been times, where you're tempted, but what's that decision like for a coach?
I've done it when I was at Notre Dame. We did it with a kid named Alan Rossum, and it was just hard. How do you practice them? How do you take time from them? And we do have good skilled players that are developing on offense. So it's not really just so valuable back there right now. So we have thought about it. When I had Joe Hayden in Florida, I was so tempted. I practiced him because he was a quarterback in high school, a freak athlete. Then you look around, there's other good ones there too, so just the disruptive things.
Okay. And then this is kind of this is a little bit of a serious question. So tomorrow's the election, and is there ever a time
election for
the president of the United States? Obviously, in any large group, there are people who think one way about something like that and people who think another way. Have you ever had a time in your life as a coach, or have you ever been concerned where something like that, a big national issue that can be very divisive, where people have different opinions, strong opinions, could influence the team dynamic because
No, I have not.
You've never, okay.
This is a little different, I think.
It is.
We had a very unique week. We had a Patriot Week where I wanted to educate because it's such a big, such a important day in all seriousness for all of us. And so we had zero discussion about it now. Beat Maryland. I'm sure the families will have their conversations. I hope our guys vote and we'll move forward. But that's why we did that, because I wanted to make sure when they go, they educate themselves, or not themselves. We educate them on the process, the job responsibility, and how to.
So, because it is, I mean, if you follow your guys on social media, some of them express strong opinions, as many people in the country do, one way or the other. But you can have that opinion, but then in here, you're a teammate, you're lining up next to each other.
Yeah, this is a pretty
that doesn't
mature
matter.
team in that regard. That's something I always watch. I have guys around this program, that's their job. Monitor, and when I talk about good guys, I have some guys that are like family in this life, in this team, that they tell me something's going on. And I listen and I hear, and the heartbeat of our team is very solid right now. It's not always perfect, but it's very solid. But that's a great question. Am I concerned about it? Yeah, right. That's when you start having issues. And but I also have great trust in the people that I'm listening to.
Second row middle, Tip.
Yeah, Urban, a couple times this year, JT's kind of looked maybe dead to rights at times in the pocket, and he's been able to escape get out and make a play. Is that an instinct thing? Is that a skill he's developed? Just
He's
where?
really good. He did that in high school. He's strong is what he is. He's very strong and twitched up, and he's amazing at some of that. Gets out of those things.
Has he been doing that for, years, or is that just because it seems like
Since
it's
high school.
Okay.
Yeah, he's remember back his redshirt freshman year, he was really good at it.
And final questions, front row right, Tim?
There were two things. Number one, what does Demario McCall need to do to play even more? Because it looks like when he's out there, there's energy there. It looks like almost like there's a potential for a big play every time he touches it. What, in your mind,
Stronger, better ball security, just physical strength, experience. He's a little loose with the ball, but his future is nice. He's a wonderful young man. So I see the same thing, but I also see that thing come out a little bit. We got to get that fixed.
I was going to say, how intriguing is it to try to get him out there, but you know there is some jeopardy involved? I mean, is it?
How intriguing?
Yeah, at this point in the season, to have a guy like that coming off the bench is.
Yeah, until he learns to be secure to the ball, it's not very intriguing at all kind of play.
Okay.
But he's earning him right. He works really hard at it. Tony Alfred's an excellent coach, so those are all growing up. The good thing is he knows it. He's a very want-to guy. He's not defiant, so he will play. He's earning right to play right.
Another thing, Raekwon McMillan, of course, he had the tip that led to the first interception. How well is he playing in your mind right now as a linebacker? Because it's not the classic case anymore where a linebacker gets 25 tackles a game and stuff. Just what do you see from him more than anything else?
Exceptional leader, exceptional person, and a great football player. I think Luke can answer in more detail about actually how he's, like assignment-wise. I just know he creates champions most of the time. He's a tough guy. He makes a lot of plays for us. And I love him to death. And he's a great representative of everything we do.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, sir.